Hey guys, how's it going? It's Blaze, back with some more TCG content for y'all. Today we are going to do another market watch, see where things are at with the One Piece TCG, but I want to start investigating into some of the other Bandai card games that are also starting to be affected by just how much hype there is around some of these series. So I want to also take a look at the Dragonball Super card game and some Union Arena as well, just to kind of see how the prices are starting to be affected by just the general hype around Bandai TCGs in general. Obviously, we'll be focusing on One Piece, but I do want to kind of take a look over there and maybe start a conversation. What do you guys think about this? Now, before we move on to that, I do want to remind y'all that I am running a new giveaway now. The last giveaway winners were announced, and now we are doing a giveaway for the Ace, Sabo, and Luffy OP13 alternate art card here. So if you want to be entered for a chance to win this card, all you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. So with all that said, let's get into it. All right, so obviously the top cards for One Piece are still going to be kind of the stuff you would expect to see. We've got Romance Dawn cases, the red manga for Luffy, as well as OP05, OP13, and now, coming in quickly, something I want to look at here is the insane pre-sale rate that we are seeing for EB03 here. This is pretty unprecedented. We here have a set that hasn't even released yet. This is entirely pre-sale, and the lowest listed rate for a case is already up to $6,000. And it's continuing to go up with high sale prices even above that. I mean, we see here high sale at 7,200. I mean, this is crazy. People are buying these at over 6,000 every single day. I don't think we've seen anything like this before. Obviously, we know from the past that EB sets are very short printed and they don't get reprints. But I mean, if you compare this to even booster box cases of EB02, I mean, you see here, this is right below EB02. It's very, very quickly closing in on the case price for EB02 here. And this is a set that's been out for a year now, right? So this is a set that's had time to grow, has had time to accumulate value. Obviously, EB01, I mean, currently listed lowest 15K. I don't think you're going to see sale. Yeah, highest sale is still 7,200. So EB03 has already hit the high sale price of EB01, which is a set that's been out for 2 years. To me, this seems extremely high risk. I mean, I don't think if you're buying in at this high of a price that there's a whole lot of room for growth here. This, to me, seems like maybe people are getting a little bit ahead of themselves just with the crazy hype around One Piece. I mean, if you're already buying in at prices that would be projected for other EB sets to take a year to 2 years to reach those prices, right? Then, I mean, how much growth do you really expect to see on the set in the long term, right? I mean, it's theoretically possible that they could go up. We're seeing, obviously, you know, cases of OP13 are already above that, and this is a set that's only been out for, what, about three and a half months now. High sale prices up in the over 7K range. But I mean, when you're comparing a set even that's been out, an anniversary set that's been out for a few months, to a set that hasn't even released yet, that seems kind of concerning. This seems like we're maybe reaching the top of the bubble here. But then again, I've been thinking that, you know, for about a month now, and we're continuing to see upward growth on a lot of these products. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this case will continue to go up, but how much can it really go up, right? Like, to reach the rates of growth that you would be seeing on stuff like these previous, you know, EB sets, this would have to end up being well over $10,000 to see a similar growth pattern at all, which I really don't think is sensible or possible. I mean, you look at, the top cards here, market value. We don't really have a good idea of market value, but if you look at Japanese values and you kind of multiply based off that, you would assume that, these top few cards are worth several thousand each raw, but they're still not approaching like a Gear 5 Luffy price, a Gold SP Luffy, a Gear 2 Luffy. I mean, even the limited SPs from EB03, you already have this box going at basically the same as what an EB02 box would be going for right now. And to me, I mean, that just seems pretty crazy, right? Like, so you're actually a little above what you're seeing EB02 boxes going for, which when you've got, cards in here that are honestly worth quite a bit more, Gear 2 going at 10K floor right now, pretty much. It seems like a stretch to me. I know that there is a God pack in EB03, which EB02 didn't have, but even there, it seems like a stretch to me. And if it's not a stretch, we're kind of like debuting at the cap almost. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of room for this set to grow, and this is definitely like a concerning pattern here if this is kind of how releases are going to go in general. I mean, with OP14, the prices started to come down, which we'll see if we go through on sealed product. Take a look at OP14. We had this really high peak here of about 3K, and now we're starting to creep back down a little bit. Not much though. Wow, the single boxes are coming down a little bit, right? Yeah, the single boxes are, back down to around 230, 240, which is honestly close to what they released for, but it's not having that consistent upward growth, right? I'm hopeful that honestly OP14 will continue to go down so I can get some more and actually open it, because I really want to hit some more of the SPs that are in there, but it doesn't seem particularly likely. But yeah, I mean, if that's kind of the general window for things, then maybe it's not great to pick stuff up on release. Issue is with an EB set, the print run isn't really high enough that you're going to get many chances to pick it up at all outside the release window, if there's even product available after the first day. So that's a little bit concerning to see. As far as this top end stuff goes, I mean, things are kind of flattening out. You're not really seeing, I mean, we already looked at this last week. You're not seeing a ton of sales for these really, really high-end cards. Yeah, not a lot of movement in general. We're looking at the Mihawk begin to creep down a little bit, but not too much. It was kind of around 1400. It's kind of been staying pretty steady at 1400. It came out around 15 to 16, I think. So we saw a very slight dip there. Boa, kind of the same deal. I think it came down a little bit. It was around 1200 for a while. Looks like it's kind of settling at around 1K to 1100. Really, really high for an SP and holding very steadily at that price. We're continuing to see OP05 just go on a crazy run here. It is already up over $100 additionally compared to what we saw just a week ago. Selling at over $1,100, high sale price at over $1,200. Seeing at least 6 sold per day is absolutely crazy. Current lowest verified right in between 11 and 12. Really, really nuts there. We're seeing very, very consistent growth on the OP05 boxes. Some of the other stuff that we've looked at, the Dodgers Luffy has started to really move up again. It was holding pretty steady and then started creeping up through January, and now we're seeing, you know, sales in the 1,300-1,500 range. I really feel like it was kind of a matter of time before this card started jumping hard. I was sort of expecting it to for a while there, and now we're finally seeing it happen. Another really interesting card that I know is somewhat controversial, but I'm interested to hear people's opinions about, is this new college basketball promo. A lot of people think this is really overpriced. A lot of people think it'll go up. I've heard a lot of like conflicting reports about this. One of the games that people were supposed to get them at, the actual supply of them got stolen from Rutgers University. So, you know, who knows what's going on with that? Who knows what exactly is going to end up being the total population of this card? Are they going to run out of it before the end of this total college basketball voyage? I've heard people say there's hundreds of thousands of this card. I've heard people say that there's less than that and that they're going to end up capping out. It says while supplies last on the promotion. So, you know, we saw this kind of debut around 400 and fall down to like 390 to 350 now. Now it's down to like 350. Something that's crazy. I mean, you see this, the Rutgers University specific versions are on here with the poster. These are the ones we know are stolen. So it's kind of crazy to see people specifically listing that with the Rutgers poster. Maybe they just got the poster and this is a card they got separately. Hard to really say, but yeah, really interesting, crazy card. I did end up trading for a copy. I definitely could see the price on this card falling and then going back up over time, but yeah, I mean, who knows with this thing? This is a weird one. Let me know what you think down in the comments about this, because yeah, it's definitely an interesting sports promo. Some of the higher end SPs, the Nami has risen to a new high here of over $1,000. We were closing in on a 1K for a while there, but now the floor being at 1450 is just insane for a raw near mint foil. Not a ton of movement on this upper stuff. I feel like we're really starting to hit the peak on how high a lot of this stuff can go, where people will actually, you know, take the plunge. Manga events, you know, continuing to rise. These I think are like cards that still have some room. I mean, I don't know how much more room, but this Gum Gum Giant was going for about 600. We're up to like 750 now. One card that was really crazy that saw a wild jump right after I sold it, this PRB02 Luffy, which I think I sold for around 600, jumped up to the point where somebody bought one for $1,200, and then it kind of dropped back down to like 500. This is like where it really should have been, and now, you know, we're seeing a floor at like 800. For a while there, it was sitting at like $1,200. So this card definitely saw some significant movement upwards. I think if you bought this at these record highs, that's really rough. And you see, you didn't have to wait that long for it to kind of, you know, start correcting back down. I don't know if this is real. This 540 and 1 cent happening twice here seems, I don't know, a little bit suspicious, but 800 at least makes more sense than 1200. It is a rare card. It is definitely one of the top hits from PRB02, but yeah, still kind of crazy. We're seeing a slight dip back down on OP13 here. I think we peaked at around 770, or it looks like 788 here. tons of these boxes moving every day. We're back down to under 700, which, you know, feels a little bit more reasonable. EB has kind of corrected back down to about 500, which I think makes a little more sense than where it was at, where people were buying it for upwards of $700 there for a bit. Pretty crazy stuff. Some of these OP09 SPs are continuing to go up pretty high. I don't know why this says high sale price of 400 when you can literally look and copies are selling today for 650. Not sure I really understand that, but yeah, I think we're starting to like see sealed product continue to go up, but a lot of these singles that have just been like absolutely going wild, going up to the moon, are starting to, I don't know if I would say come back down to earth, but like we're seeing, you know, like corrections where we're kind of at least somewhere in reality again, as opposed to like crazy land. This is back to like 300. I still think this card has, you know, a ways up to go here. I think 300 is actually not awful. If you want to buy this, somebody got them for like 250. I guess they like dropped down. I think we're starting to see like a market correction here, and this is a pattern that you're definitely starting to see on a lot of this stuff. I still think a lot of these have room to go. I mean, the Buggy manga being the same as the Boa manga like doesn't really make much sense, to be honest. Near mint for the Gear 5, back under 300, which is like more reasonable than where it was. I think we got up to like 330 for a little while there. Gear 2 going for like 270. That also makes sense. We saw it go up to like 400. So things are starting to kind of just come a little bit more back down to reality now, which I think is good, and it gives you some opportunities. A lot of these SPs, I think, still have room to grow. OP05 SPs, OP08 SPs, OP9 SPs. OP9 SPs are pretty up there right now, but you know, I don't think that means that they're gonna crash necessarily. This Sanji SP, definitely one I've been keeping an eye on. I said to people, I think as far as like lower buy-in SPs, this was a really good one to get about a month ago when it was around 80, 90 bucks. If you bought this when it was like 80, I guess maybe a little more than a month ago, towards the end of December, you're pretty up on these, which is good. Right now I'm going for, if you watched my, you know, card hunting video I posted the other day, which I guess not a ton of people did, but I think stuff like this, these lower priced textured kaleidoscope SPs are personally what I'm really focusing on right now. I think so. They're some of the nicest cards in the game, and I think they still have, you know, some really solid room on them. These I also like, these OP11 SPs. I think, you know, these have some room to go as well at like 160, 180 for some of them. We've seen these going up like crazy. I feel like these are probably peaking. Ben Beckman's not like a crazy character. I had a few of these that I've been getting rid of, if you want to know just what I've been doing personally. Stuff like this, I like. Picked up one of these not too long ago. These lower price SPs, the Sengoku, I like. These cheaper, you know, textured background ones, again, big fan of these. I think the Lucci, not bad. But yeah, that's kind of like personally, how I'm moving. I'm not a big fan of this card, but I think the fact it's been going down so much seems, you know, like definitely an opportunity where I'm not a huge fan of this art, but it is a pretty rare hit from EB03, which, you know, we've already talked about as a set. The fact that this keeps falling, I don't know. I definitely think this will probably go back up at some point. That might be one to look at there. Looks like the Divine Departures come back down a little bit. That might be a good time to check that out. Yeah, I think this is a pretty nice one. That still might have some room on it. In that 60 to 70 range, I think this is pretty solid. 60 bucks. This Zoro here for 50, I think is not bad, honestly. I think it's a pretty nice looking card here. I had one of these. I sold it a while back. I feel like, I mean, I think I sold it for more than 50. These OP13, like Three Brothers alt arts, the kind of fake mangas. I know I've talked about it in the past, but for like 50, 60 bucks, I feel like these are pretty solid. Oh, this is one I definitely like. The OP05, kind of like fake signature Luffy, I guess you could say. Near mint at like 50. I think this is one that you're going to continue to see like really good growth on. I mean, it's an OP05 card. It's an original Oda art that he made just for the game. It's not this SIG stamp, but like, I mean, if you can snag this for under 50 bucks, I feel like that's almost a no-brainer. I picked one of those up the other week, and you know, honestly, I was kind of kicking myself for not having done it earlier because it just seems like such an obvious one to grab. Talked about Five Elders, talked about the Three Brothers alt art, parallels. Going back to sealed for a second. If you are looking at boxes, Pillars of Strength continuing to really do quite well. I think maybe we've kind of peaked on it now at around like 700, 750, and we're starting to come back down. But I mean, that's a really, really high price for that box. I was kind of surprised to see it going up that high. OP09 also kind of peaked, and we're starting to see slight correction here. This correction period that we seem to be in right now, you know, might be a good time to pick some of this stuff up. OP02 now is like continuing to go up a lot more, which to me makes sense. I feel like OP02 had been selling lower than I was really expecting it to for a while there. OP11 just absolutely going crazy, continuing to sell for over $400. Not a ton of upward growth there, but I'm still just like always amazed to see that. PRB2 continuing to climb. I still think this has room. I still think this is probably one of the better sets, even at this price, to invest in because you know it's not getting reprinted. OP12, kind of similar to where it was last time we looked at it. Not a ton of movement there. Royal Blood starting to fall down a little bit. I still think this is maybe not a bad set to pick up if it kind of corrects down. Might be worth picking up a few boxes of. These Devil Fruit 01s also kind of correcting a little bit. So we're starting to see like a mild correction on a lot of sealed, but on the top stuff, it's still really keeping a lot of momentum up. So, you know, maybe now is a good time to pick up some of those different loose boxes of the kind of in-between sets as opposed to like anniversary or EB stuff. If you want to grab some OP10, you want to grab some... How's OP7 doing, actually? terrible. Yeah, like some of these in-between sets like OP7, I still don't like investing in OP8. OP12, OP10, you know, maybe now's the time on some of these. But that being said, I actually want to quickly pivot over to a game that's kind of been picking up some steam recently. I want to hop over to Dragon Ball really quick. We've been seeing something pretty interesting over the past few weeks, which is these Dragon Ball cases are suddenly just absolutely exploding. For the record, I'm not recommending that you buy this stuff at these prices. I mean, $7,000 for a case of Manga Booster 1 when, you know, a week ago it was 1.8K. These getting completely bought out. This is kind of crazy. I mean, this definitely seems like pretty blatant market manipulation, but it does seem like people are buying them. I don't know if this is a few people who are coordinating this or if these are actually selling at these prices, but we're seeing Manga Booster 2. Now, Manga Booster 2 is one that actually kind of did have some hype around it. It was definitely like selling fairly well when it came out, and then it dipped down for a bit, and then now it's starting to shoot back up here. But yeah, up to like 3-4K for a case here. What do you guys think about this? This is the next set, and it's pre-selling for, you know, really crazy numbers already, which I definitely didn't expect. This game was considered, as somebody who, you know, lives in the player ecosystem for Bandai TCGs, this game has been considered dead, like almost completely dead, life support for quite a while, actually, for pretty much the past like 5 sets. Nobody's playing this. Stores don't fire tournaments from this anymore. And then now all of a sudden it's just absolutely popping off, and, you know, people are buying up all the cases. I don't know. I don't know what to think of this. This seems a little crazy to me. I mean, Manga Booster boxes going for over $600 here for a box is pretty nuts. And some of these top cards, I mean, this one's actually down a little bit. This is like a mega chase. This is like the, you know, manga equivalent, but you know, jumping from, well, wait, how is this down? Oh, this isn't including the recent, yeah, so this is, people are buying these at 1,000, 1,500. I don't really know much about the market for this game, so I'm just kind of going over this with you guys, but yeah, this is crazy. This is just, this card's just been exploding. This is from Manga Booster 02. The Piccolo, also from Manga Booster 2. Jumping from, you know, a few $100s up to over $1,000. I don't see it selling at this price. This is a cool card. I do like this card. But yeah, I mean, pretty wild stuff here. And then also, if you hop over to Union Arena, you're seeing these Demon Slayer boxes. I mean, these Demon Slayer cases have completely sold out now, going for over 2K. This isn't really a set that was going that crazy for Union Arena when it came out. I guess just the hype from, you know, the movie and stuff is really driving these up. But yeah, I mean, these cases were down to about 900, which what you expect, up to like 1,400 now. High sale at like 13. And I know these aren't as explosive gains as like what we're seeing on Dragon Ball, but for Union Arena, it's definitely pretty surprising. I mean, we have the Evangelion set that just came out, has already jumped up to about $1,200. This has only been out for a couple weeks. I just did a box opening for this earlier if you want to see some of the cards. Really nice cards. I'm still kind of mad. My boxes were, I got pretty cooked on my boxes for this, unfortunately. But one that's wild to me is the solo leveling pre-sales going at over 1,500. I mean, that's pretty insane. 1,500 on pre-sale for Union Arena? I mean, I love solo leveling as much as the next guy. And I disagree with the haters on that. I think that's a series that gets a lot of hate that it really doesn't deserve. It's not Evangelion. It's not trying to make you think about philosophy and existential topics. It's a very straightforward, straight to the point kind of show, but it does it well for what it is. But we see this Nezuko 3 stars up to 1,800 lowest listed. We're not seeing sales for a lot of the stuff, but we're definitely seeing buyouts and people listing stuff really high. But yeah, the 3-star Sig Ichigo jumping to 2.5K when like the highest sale on it, you know, that isn't like a BGS 10. We saw a BGS 10 for 1,500, but previously the highest sale on it's 700. I think we're seeing something kind of similar with the Asta. Yeah, we jump up here from 400 up to $1,000 here on the Sig Asta. This card is awesome looking. I actually really like that card. This card's awesome. I really want this card. And we're not seeing any of the Ava 3 stars really even being listed yet. This is... I really want this card. I very, very much want this card. Asuka here, going for a good amount. These are kind of like normal-ish. I mean, they're very high for 2 stars, but you would normally expect to see something more like this, where like even a 3 stars going for, you know, like 300 here. 350. Maybe this one's a little lower because, you know, I won't get into that, but the whole Kenshin deal. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these 3 stars are not like cracking $1,000. So seeing them start to and seeing cases, you know, going on pre-sale for close to 1,500 is pretty wild. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about Union Arena and Dragon Ball? Take a look at Gundam maybe next time, but I think that's enough for one session. Yeah, I've been recording for a while already. But yeah, drop a comment. Again, if you like, subscribe, and comment, you'll be entered to win this guy right here. But what do you guys think about the general just explosion of value around seemingly any and all Bandai TCG? Do you think it's due to the production quality and the rate at which you can get, you know, high grades from places like PSA or Beckett? Do you think it's just the One Piece hype kind of spilling over to these other anime franchises? Are we just kind of seeing a boom in anime themed cards in general, which obviously Bandai has a near monopoly on? So yeah, let me know what you guys think, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Till next time, peace.